Hello, everyone. I'm Ron Garrett, your host here on Vegas Pulse, stories from the back of the house. Last week we had a great guest, and the week before that, but this week's guest is a topper. This is a young man that's been in Vegas since 1969. He has seen everything, especially the fact that he's an entertainer, and he is the premier Frankie Valli tribute artist in the entire country. His name is Mr. Mark Maynard. Hello,
Hey,
Mark.
hello, Ron. How you doing?
Thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you for having me on your show.
1969, man.
Yeah.
That goes way back. I came in 71.
Okay. Well, it's a whole different world everywhere. And, of course, when I showed up in Las Vegas, I was quite a bit, obviously, the years go by way fast.
You were a young man.
I was a young man. I still kind of feel in here
Well,
that
you're still
I
a
am.
young man.
Yeah.
I was 27 years old when I came to Vegas.
Right, yeah. So, wow, so much has happened over the years, amazing things, and I just wanted to...
Were you singing then? Were you beginning your career back in 69?
Yes, as a matter of fact, what brought me to Las Vegas, I had been touring on the road. You know, I'll take it back a little bit if I may.
Sure.
Get out of high school, go to college for a year, get drafted into the Army for 6 years.
6 years in the Army?
Yes, sir.
I'm also a veteran.
Excellent.
4 years in the Air Force.
All right. Well, as you know, the training my training was in Fort Ord, Monterey, California, basic training. And then I had my AIT, advanced training at Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio, Texas. I trained as a medical field corpsman and all of that. And then after that phase, I was involved, of course, with music and rock bands and all of that. I counted just the other day. I've been in 14 different rock band shows and all of that. Some of them we recorded some records in the Midwest, tri-state area, you know, all of that. Had a lot of fun touring. But it was a touring group out of Las Vegas called Friends of the Family, led by Rick Friedman. And I met them in the Midwest, and they hired me to be part of their group. My first big show was in Boston. I was at that point in time, what they were intrigued with.
You were living in Vegas at this time?
No, I was living in Iowa.
Iowa?
Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines?
Des Moines, yeah.
So you're from, what is it, Boonville? Or?
I was born and raised in Boone.
Boone.
That's about 50 miles north of Des Moines.
So you're a real country boy.
I am a country boy, yes. And a lot of my friends from back in that area are so intrigued with what I've done with my life as an entertainer and the success I'm enjoying here in Las Vegas. You know, they just really are amazed with where...
When you got to Vegas in 69, were you singing then? Did you have some gigs?
Yes, I did. And as a matter of fact, the keyboard player that was traveling with us, the group was called Friends of the Family.
Friends of the Family.
And we were traveling all over the country, and keyboard player decided to bring his family to Las Vegas. And then soon after that, I was invited to come to Las Vegas and be part of a production that was being supported by Wayne Newton.
Oh.
Wayne Newton had what we called an adopted son, and his adopted son was in the show. So I got acquainted with Wayne Newton and all of his entourage and all the people involved with the production, and I was singing. I joined the local 369 Musicians Union.
That's right, when the musicians had a
That's
good
right.
union.
Good union.
Good union, but not like it was.
That's exactly right.
It was very strong.
Yes.
And because there was some bent-nosed guys behind it, and they made sure that everything was strong. You ran into a few of those.
I absolutely did. Yes, I did. So I was kept busy with all of that and enjoyed many different opportunities all over the Las Vegas Boulevard, the strip hotels, the lounges, everything that was, a lot of these places aren't standing anymore, of course, you know. And so it was a great trip with all of that. Then more recently, I was invited to participate as one of the performers in Legends in Concert. And that's where the Frankie Valli thing comes in.
Frankie Valli?
As Frankie Valli. But before I could do that, Ron, I wanted to be sure that the man himself, Mr. Frankie Valli, would be approving.
Did someone say to you, hey, Mark, you sound like Frankie Valli. You need to do that?
It really did happen that way.
Did it occur to you when you were singing that was going to happen? Did it ever say, I need to do Frankie Valli?
It never did. It never did.
That's great.
You know, and it was right about that time, of course, that I was becoming involved with the family. I got married, and the family started. And I knew from the sometimes, as you well know, entertainment industry can be very frivolous. Some contracts, before the ink dries, it gets changed around or canceled or whatever. And I needed to be sure that I provided the family with a good, strong.
There's a scene in The Godfather when you're talking about the contracts. Well, they all say that an offer you can't refuse. What really happened was he either signed that contract, your signature will be on that paper, or your brains
Right.
by the time I leave this room. So make up your mind. That was a great line.
That's right.
Anything like that happen to you?
Well,
I didn't say they're going to shoot you in the head, but some kind of coercion.
I met directly with the founding father of the Four Seasons, Tommy DeVito, and he did kind of brush that little bit that way,
Well, he was known for that. I didn't know that till after I saw Jersey Boys, but that was his thing.
Yeah. Tommy was really cool with me, though, and as a matter of fact,
He's passed away now.
Yes, right.
Yeah, recently.
His older brother, Nicky DeVito, I was entertaining here in Las Vegas, and it was at one of the big station casino properties. And I finished what I was doing, and the show was completed. And this gentleman, I had no idea who he was. He waved me over to say hello. And he said, "What is your name, kid?" And I said, "Mark Maynard." I said, "What is your name, sir?" He says, "My name is Nick." Then he paused and he said, "DeVito." Well, my jaw hit the floor. And he said, "Oh, you know who I am?" I said, "I do know who you are, sir." He says, "Well, listen, I really appreciate and enjoyed what you just did up there. That was pretty impressive." He says, "I'm wondering if my brother Tommy, have you met Tommy?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And I said, "I have met with Frankie." And I had an opportunity. I arranged to see Frankie Valli. And he said, "Oh, tell me about that." So my story with that was I contacted the Desert Inn. That's where they were performing at that time. And the Desert Inn connected me with the tour manager. John Bowers was the tour manager. And John was on the phone with me. And John says, "This is interesting, Mark." He says, "So tell me again, why do you want to meet directly with Frankie Valli?" I said, "Well, I've been told I have an uncanny likeness to him and that I deliver the songs very, very closely to what Frankie does." He says, "I'll speak with Frankie Valli. We'll get back with you soon." Okay, well, 2 hours later, the phone rings. John Bowers. He says, "I spoke with Frankie. He definitely wants to meet with you. He wants to have an opportunity to visit."
We'll find out what happened when he met with you right after we take a break here. This is Vegas Pulse with Ron Garrett. I'm talking with Mark Maynard, the #1 guy in the country who does Frankie Valli, and right now, a tribute to Frankie. And right now he's over at Modern Showrooms here in Las Vegas.